The right lung has three lobes, the superior lobe, the middle lobe, and the inferior lobe, separated by the horizontal and oblique fissures. The left lung has two lobes, the superior lobe and the inferior lobe, separated by the oblique fissure. Both lungs are enclosed within the pleural sac, a structure consisting of two continuous membranes, the internal visceral pleura, shown here in green, and the parietal pleura, shown here in purple. The visceral pleura covers the surface of the lungs and adheres to all of its surfaces, including within the horizontal and oblique fissures. The parietal pleura lines the pulmonary cavities and covers the internal surface of the thoracic wall, the mediastinum, and the diaphragm. Specific parts of the parietal pleura are named for the surfaces they cover. The costal part lines the internal part of the thoracic wall and covers the ribs, the sternum, the intercostal muscles, the costal cartilages, and the sides of the thoracic vertebrae. The orange portion here is the mediastinal pleura, which covers the lateral aspects of the mediastinum. In green, we have the diaphragmatic pleura, which covers the superior surface of the diaphragm. And in red, we have the cervical pleura, which forms the cup-shaped dome over the apex of each lung. Now we have some spaces here between the visceral and parietal pleura. These are known as our pleural recesses. Between the costal pleura and the diaphragmatic pleura, we have the costodiaphragmatic recesses. That's actually where those two portions of pleura come into contact. Then we have two smaller recesses, the costomediastinal recesses, where the mediastinal pleura comes in contact with the costal pleura. Surface projections of the parietal pleura and the lungs are as follows. Posteriorly, the inferior border of the parietal pleura reaches all the way down to the 12th lung, the rib, while the lungs reach to the 10th. Moving more anteriorly, the parietal pleura reaches to the 10th rib, while the lungs reach to the 8th. And by the time you get to the mid-clavicular line, the parietal pleura reaches to the 8th rib, while the lungs reach to the 6th. And the horizontal and oblique fissures are at the levels of the 4th and 6th lung rib, respectively.